Hello everyone and welcome back to a slightly different review. And today, well, I am trying to vary the content, so today we're looking at the 2008 Hasbro Anakin's Delta 7B. Now I do also own the Lego model, and if you'd like me to, I can compare both of them in a comparison video. One thing that I loved about Jang Bricks and what he did is with the original Force Awakens wave, my favourite Lego Star Wars wave, he compared the Lego model to the Hasbro rendition, and I can do sort of the same thing. Now unfortunately I don't have the figure that goes along with this, the Anakin figure. I did get this second hand. I don't think that Hasbro vehicles even come with figures, at least some of them, so that's quite disappointing. Starting out here, you can see of course the major upside to Hasbro is that Hasbro can do custom molded plastic. Lego has a parts inventory that they work from to create a model, and Hasbro custom molds their plastic anytime they create a new model, so it's a lot more accurate to what we actually see in Clone Wars. It's wonderfully sculpted. You have that proper angular front that Lego can sometimes struggle to do. We have a tinted purple visor, which I wish Lego did. Again, this has the fin that goes all the way across. The Lego Delta 7s don't have that. Wonderful shaping throughout. There are no stickers in this model. Everything is paint applied, which is really nice to see. Love to see that. You can see some more of the angles here. It's incredibly streamlined, that sort of arrowhead fighter that the Delta 7's supposed to be. You have your astromech socket there. I will show you that in a minute. Go around back. Some engine details here you can see. And of course, another little tiny downside with Hasbro is you do have the screw holes. Now, screw holes are mainly located on the underside. I usually don't show the underside, but you can see the screw holes. One nice thing here is you do have your pop-out cannon. This cannon can pop out, and there is a little button on the bottom. You can... Oh, now that's a flaw. That's a flaw with this fighter, because you're holding it and you're going to click the missile. As you can see, the missile actually popped out. The missile did pop out, however... it went back in because of course you push this to go back up as well, so you have to be careful. There we go. So that is one little flaw with this fighter, but again it's a very small flaw. Showing you quickly the top missiles, they are incredibly simple. They work essentially like spring-loaded shooters within Lego. You just push the tops and the ends fire out. Now, one great thing about this is that this is actually how the cannons look. The cannons look like this. If you look at the Delta 7, that's what the cannon looks like. So if you want a more accurate Delta 7, all you gotta do is just leave the missiles out and it looks really accurate. I really love that. Just want to take you over the paneling detail. This is one thing that Hasbro does really nicely, is you have all these fine lines for all of the panels. I really love the textural details. It makes the craft pop so much more, and it makes it just look so much more elegant. You have all these fine lines sort of creeping their way across the craft. I really love that. There is a bit of a lack of detail on the back here, however. These are supposed to be heat vents. On the Lego model, they use grill pieces to represent the heat vents. Here, they just sort of leave it a bit blank, but it's okay. One thing that Hasbro does for play that Lego doesn't do is that they have rubber ends. Now, the end of the actual fighter here is made of rubber, which is really handy for kids when, you know, of course, kids like ram things into walls. Kids like you know, they're gonna do a crash landing of this thing. That's really nice because, of course, you know, this is an arrowhead fighter. That could potentially be a safety hazard, or it could just be incredibly brittle for the product. Now, it is worse for collectors having rubber ends. You can see the grey doesn't actually match up correctly. It's okay. It is a very well warranted safety feature. And Lego, if you actually look, they don't really have pointy things in their sets. Often lots of the bricks are rounded off on some of the ends, particularly with, you know, especially ships, right? That's the main focus of this, where actually kids are going to be flying them around. Now getting into the astromech compartment here. It works pretty much the same way as Lego, even though it is better shaped. Lego can't get this wonderful shape that goes flush around the astromech droid. Again, Hasbro can do custom molded things, so they've got this very nice shaping here. Now, to actually access this, you can see a little hinge there. There is a little nick in the side, and then you can open it. You can see it's also a cockpit. Why is there controls in here? Well, I'm going to show you another great thing. Hasbro Sometimes Hasbro does really sloppy action features where they're like big Nerf missiles. I hated their partnership with Nerf. They had all these big Nerf cannons that came out of the craft. Here, and with some of the older models, they do very, very nice disguised little action features. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put R2 in. Now, I don't think this is the R2 that actually goes with the fighter, but I'm going to put him in. You sort of have to make sure he doesn't lean back there, because what we are going to do is put this over the top of him. And it can be a tight squeeze sometimes, but he will go in. And there we go, R2 is in the fighter, and he does look great. Again, you can put any astromech droid in here, provided that, of course, they fit through this gap. But that's really, really nice. Getting into the cockpit, again, it has this wonderful purple tint. I really wish LEGO had a like a trans lavender printed Delta 7 cockpit. That would look so cool. But again, there is also a rubber element at the back here I quickly wanted to touch upon. Again, this could be a quite brittle area of the craft. It's very, very nice. Again, it's flexible. It's not going to break. It's lodged in there quite nicely. And that's a great thing. I think this is much better disguised than the front of the craft. To open the cockpit, there is these little nicks in the side here. And you can just lift up the cockpit. It's quite squeaky. And it can also pop out sometimes. That's one thing. Lego cockpits are a lot more secure in terms of the actual pieces with the clip pieces. But we have a very nicely detailed cockpit inside there. There we go. Get the light to work. Very nicely detailed. Wonderful paint applications applied on the inside here. That looks really, really nice. And you can slide in your Anakin. Again, I don't have the figure. I'm very, very sorry. One thing that is really bad with action features, with action figures, is that they'll have their own lines. So the Power of the Force figures from 1995 are completely different to the Force Awakens figures from 2015, and that means that you can't really put older figures or like different figures in different vehicles from other lines. So you can only really put the 2008 Clone Wars figures in this fighter, which is a massive downside. Of course, LEGO is completely universal with their minifigure. You could put a LEGO City Policeman in a Star Wars vehicle, no problem. Now getting into this all-important action feature, I've zoomed way out, and well, you can sort of, if you were paying attention, you could sort of see we have a line here, it sort of cuts out, we have another line at the back. You can rip this thing into two sections. It's actually quite cool. Like that. There you go, you have one section here which is sort of piloted by R2, or a pilot that you can sit in here. It would be a little bit funky with a sort of like a human head sticking out here, but you could also use this as an escape pod. This could be like an escape pod window. You can have a figure lying down. I think that's the intention. But yeah, you have these foldable wings. You have like little missiles there that you can see, if it will focus. Yes, you can see it there. And you can sort of see the halves of the engines. They just clip in with these big clips. And even Hasbro always does this. Hasbro has really nice greebling, even when you don't even need it, which is really, really cool. And this actually looks quite cool. Of course, it is still armed. You have your missile on the other side. And I do like that. Getting into the other side, the back half, of course, it is armed as well. You have your two little cannons off to the side here, and it just slots in and clicks into the window. This is an ETA 2 styled window, which I think is really, really cool. Now, of course, the design of the ETA 2 was originally based on Hasbro's 2002 Jedi Starfighter, which is really awesome. Yeah, Doug Chang and George Lucas got the inspiration for the ETA 2 from a Hasbro product, which is really cool. But you can sort of see they sort of give a little callback to that there, which is really nice. And yeah, you can sort of see how they separate. And I will reattach them again. As you see, it folds in. The wings are going to fold in. And it clicks back into place. Really nice. So that's pretty much it with this fighter. I hope you enjoyed this quick review. Should I rate this? I don't really know. Does it really fit with a rating? There's not a lot for me to compare it to. I'm not that well versed in the Hasbro world. It is a very fine display piece though. This is one thing that Hasbro gets really right. They have good action features and good display ability all wrapped into one. This looks great on a shelf. I'm telling you that now. It has so many like fine, intricate little details. There's nothing that really takes you out of the actual experience of the craft, because of course everything's very well disguised. Of course, I do prefer LEGO. This is mainly a LEGO channel, but I do want to sort of dabble with different styles of content. What do you think about this craft? Let me know in the comments below. Do you own any Hasbro Star Wars vehicles? What's your favourite action figure? Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.